In this video, I'm going to be crafting an Eldritch well with a glowing interior. I have a colour changing tealight, and I first carefully remove the flame from the top of it, making sure not to damage the LED itself. The flame goes into a bits box. I check that the tealight still works, which I do several times during the build. Now these tealights are perfectly sized so that they fit inside a toilet roll. I cut the toilet roll to size so that it is slightly taller than the tealight is now. If you don't have any tubes and tealights that match perfectly in size like this, just cut a strip of thin card and roll it into a tube and stick it together. For the base, I'm using cheap linoleum floor tile, but you can use something else such as foam board. I place the toilet roll tube on this and draw out the base, which I then cut out. I place the toilet roll tube on the base again and draw a circle, which I then carefully cut out with a knife. I then use hot glue to stick the tube to the base, running it around the outside. I have the tealight in the tube to make sure it doesn't deform. The main body needs bulking up. I'm using envelopes like I originally did with the scatter hills, but tearing them up into pieces, then keeping them together with sellotape. And here are some I made earlier. These I stick to the base and the tube with hot glue, working it so that there is essentially a slope and keeping the pieces under the tube's rim. Once I have bulked this out to my satisfaction, I then cut another piece of the tile to serve as the top. First I draw another circle for the tube, then make a bigger area, smaller than the bottom, but big enough that I can build my well on it. I then, again, carefully cut out the centre circle. This hole is as large as the entire tube, which makes for a fairly large well, but you can make a smaller hole to make a smaller well. I then need a piece of clear plastic. This is part of a cover from a takeaway, but anything will do, and packaging is cheaper than decent plastic. I cut out a piece large enough to cover the hole and sand both sides. Wearing a dust mask is a good idea. I stick this to the underside of the top piece with sellotape. I apply hot glue to the underside of the tile and stick it on the top of the base, so that the plastic matches the top of the tube. To finish making the mound, I'm again using shredded paper and a 50-50 mix of PVA and water, adding the latter to the paper so that it feels right. This is just done by feel. I then stick this to the mound to fill in the holes and join it with the top. Once all the paper has been applied, I then smooth it out. Once this has dried, I remove it from the greaseproof paper and cut off any excess from the bottom with some kitchen shears. I then cover the entire thing with PVA applied with a wet brush. You could then cover the mound with paper as seen in the inset video, but this is best if you want a bare, earthy mound. Once the PVA is dried, I cover the whole thing in black acrylic paint, keeping clear of the plastic. I then add the well itself. This is made from the 10mm limestone chippings I have used in the dry stone wall video. I superglue the chippings around the plastic, then build the wall up to the desired height by gluing the chippings to each other, all done using superglue. I'm not worried about holes because I want the light to shine through the wall. Once the well is finished, apply PVA to the flat bit around the well, then add some fine sand for texture and leave that to dry. Once this is dry, I brush off any loose sand, then drip on a 3:1 water PVA mix with a couple of drops of washing up liquid added to it to help lock the sand in place. I then paint it with burnt umber acrylic paint. Next is a light dry brush with white on the sand. I apply PVA to everywhere I want to have grass, then use a mix of miscast sawdust flock on it. I brush off the excess flock, then drip some more of the 3:1 water PVA mix on it. To make the well look more Eldritch, I add some more colourful flock. I dab PVA on in various places, then add this equal mix of red, purple and orange flock. Once again, I dust off the excess and use the diluted PVA water mix on it. Then I dab some PVA on in these areas and add purple flock, and again use the PVA water mix to lock it in place. Next, I mix some of my homemade purple sponge flock with PVA and apply this to the well like purple moss. I then add some of my homemade bushes with purple flowers to the well. I put some cotton wool in as well as the tea light to diffuse the light some more. I have a second smaller well designed to be used purely as scatter terrain rather than the larger piece which is intended to have figures on it. Want to help support the channel? Then please like, comment, subscribe, share, join our Patreon, or buying through the Amazon or drive-through links below helps support the channel at no cost to you.